Welcome y'all to another Skip Barber race here at Lime Rock Park. It'll be race 6 right after the last one we did. And we have a race with Brian. Hopefully this will go well. Didn't qual for anything. Track temps is 110. Terrible qual. I wrecked it in the first lap of qual. Not the out lap, the first actual lap. So hopefully I got the wreck out of the way already. And I'm going to try and I'm not going to race too hard this time. I'm just going to try to hold my lines, keep in nice and tight even if it costs me positions, so that we don't have a repeat of last time. And I'm going to be doing a bit more defensive driving so that I don't leave the opportunities for what happened last race to happen. Which is really what it came down to as being my fault, is that I left the door open. And so someone stepped through, which is what you do with an open door. Even if it's not very open, it's there. You take it. Here we go.
Green, green, green.
Oh.
Left side. Still there. Still there. Clear on the left. Left side. Clear on the left.
Just trying to take it nice and easy. We got a lot of race left.
Slow car on the right. Go left.
So no need to do anything silly yet.
One minute 9.48. Car on your left. Clear.
I hope we didn't run him off there, swinging a little wide like we did.
Sorry
I did not see who it was.
Nose like that, Steve. I didn't know what he was going to do.
Someone different. Okay. So this has been more typical of our races, where we're not the ones getting wiped out or wiping ourselves out. And they're just surviving. Which is interesting. Just trying to take it easy.
9.373.
Not very happy with that lap time, but it is default weather, so that's not as bad as it was in the last race, or in all the last races. There we go. Feels good when you get it right. Because I almost don't there. And whatever we do not want to kill this person. I've already done that once today.
Left side. Still there. 8.949. Left side. You're in fourth position. Clear.
I apparently take that a lot differently than everyone else. Still being a bit more cautious than I probably need to be, or should be.
9.314.
Well, I guess that depends on what the goal is, and with the goal of trying to finish, should be is a different question altogether. Wow, with as many mistakes as I just made through there, I'm surprised we're still ahead. I have my habits from the last race where the track temp was 94 still. Which is why I'm still very surprised we're pulling ahead. So one thing I need to work on there is instead of lifting all the way, do a partial lift. Broke my rule. Almost paid for it. And if you didn't watch the last episode, the rule I have come to is to, once I get straight, suck it up and keep going straight, and do not adjust while going over the crest of the hill. Because that's what cost us yesterday in a race, top split race that we had locked up. Fourth. So the goal is not to do that again. Because generally this car is pretty good. Even if it kind of looks like it's kicking out to the side, as long as you're holding it straight, it should center itself again. And you start running into problems when you try to correct it, because you're in midair at that point.
There you go.
58.901.
But we're not going to keep our fourth place if we keep doing that nonsense. Or that. I mean, we kind of didn't do it too terribly, but it was very, very ugly and slow. Yep, shouldn't have done that. Got away with it, but I'm going to call myself out on it every time. Until I quit doing it. What was really interesting to me was just how little I moved the steering wheel there.
9.1.
Not on this, but when I lost it yesterday. Still too early. Not really, really terribly done. Ooh, that was nice. I feel like I'm gaining on this person. I think I did it again, or I did it just about when we started getting traction again. And I need to stop mountain climbing there because it's upsetting the car. If you're brave enough, you can actually use curves, race curves like that to help you rotate the car. They just usually help you rotate a bit more than you probably want. So the question is, does this person have damage of some kind? And based on what happened there, I'm going to say yes. There we go. Cowered it out until I can figure out what's going on behind us.
Man, Alex, you're smoking the Nesses.
Smoking good, smoking bad. Can assume he meant smoking good.
You're now in third.
I didn't think that was going to be that great of a lap. Default weather, like 59 evens, I'll take. I shouldn't have cowered it out there. Okay, dude seems to got his stuff back together. So the question is, can we hold him off for that 4 seconds? He's number 9, so maybe? Not a foregone conclusion like if he was ranked number 1 or 2. We will have to see. Still have a lot of race left too. Really need to figure out how to do that better without having to make up speed.
Sorry, guys, I spun out coming out of that last turn. Sorry if I caused y'all to go off.
I think there I was pinching it. From what I can tell, that is one of my worst habits. Has been since day one. Well, looks like he had an issue again. Alex is now behind us. I don't think he was before. He has a lot of time to make up that we almost give away by going into the dirt. That was a lot closer than I'd like. Alright, we're to the halfway point, which is good. Almost, at least. I think what I need to do is start turning in just a hair bit later there. Well, more than likely just because, you know, the whole turn pinching thing I was just talking about. Hello, person. Thank you. Really afraid he was going to race us for a second. But you know, if you're really, really fast and you're a lap down, I'm okay with. I'll let you by. Just don't do it right when you come out of the pits in front of me in a fast turn. All I'm asking. Ugh, that was not pretty. So today's kind of been an interesting day. Wife tells me the battery in her car's dead, so charge it. See if it's just kind of run flat or something. You're really just trying to figure out if it's the alternator or the battery. We didn't have a cold snap recently, so really not looking at the battery for being at fault here. But she goes to run some errands, and of course, get a call later that she needs a jump. Kind of expected that, so no big deal. The fun part, though, was then so pick up the new battery, go swap it out, 10-minute job. I will have to say that Honda did a decent job and an interesting job with the lugs for the battery post, or for the clamp on the battery terminals. They have it kind of angled out and up instead of being flat to the side.
8.86. You got 10 laps to go.
Which was really nice so that you can get a socket in there really easily. That was a very nice little detail. And then comes the anti-theft system for the navigation system that this old-ass car has. The car is younger than a decade, but older than 5 years. So smartphones were really starting to become a thing, but I think about the time... I'm a thing. No, smartphones were still relatively new at the time. See, Alex is catching us. 9 laps. As long as we don't screw up, we should be able to keep it.
8.861.
Oh, he's ranked number 1. So he may actually have that kind of a pace on us. But the fun part was because it's this whole navigation and radio head unit kind of stereo entertainment system all in one. It has this anti-theft system to where do not do that. Do not need that crap today. It was fun because the battery was full, so it went into mode, which is fine. For the whole anti-theft mode, but then it also had this thing where I had to enter a code. The fun bit was figuring out how to get said code.
9.236.
And because it was the fancier model, they were like, oh yeah, if you have it, just hold these buttons and turn it on and off. Okay, that's the second time I've accidentally done that in third. I have yet to see what my lap times are from doing that. But I have no idea if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And because we bought it used, the little card that had some of the information we were supposed to have on it wasn't there. The only way to get it was to get it from the actual device itself on the display. And of course they're like, oh, if you have the fancy system, you can't do that. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? It's kind of silly. So after some digging, I found that somebody else that had that was like, oh, here's how you do that. Like, oh, hey, thanks. Why couldn't you tell us that, Honda? And I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this is because... Ooh. It had to do with the fact that it was a diagnostic screen and whatnot, so you have some access to some really fun things in there that I don't think they just want to have people poking around for a serial number to get. Yep. Long story short, though, so I get the code to reset the thing. Everybody's happy. But it was, again, one of those fun things of doing any kind of technical troubleshooting, any kind of work that's on something not very simple. It's like, oh, hey, this battery change took like 10-15 minutes, including the time to get the tools out and put them away. It also helped I didn't have to get any kind of stupid adapter kit. And
8.89. Dick, you've got 5 laps to go.
not go off onto the left there. Every once in a while I'll get that turn where I don't then have to hit the gas to make up time. Not very often. And then I blow it here. Not that I actually did the first turn correctly. I feel like we have plenty of time and we're not catching the two in front of us. Trying not to push too hard. Thankfully, those are non-collision objects. Ooh. Alright. 4 laps after this? Yeah.
9.07. Dick.
There we go. I'm guessing that's slower than it could be, just based on the fact that I'm not using the entire curb. Or I'm not using all the room. And I'm sliding quite a ways. And since we should have plenty of traction here, sliding is not a good thing.
Dick, 8.774.
But yeah, I just thought that was fun. And I'm assuming it was mostly because of the era it was from. It had an actual like LCD display, which was not very common back then. I mean, they've become very ubiquitous after the cell phone revolution. I mean, I remember trying to do any kind of fancy embedded projects a while back. It was expensive. A lot of it had to do with the fact that you couldn't just like if you wanted to do embedded like microcontroller stuff, you had to get a programmer.
Got 2 laps to go.
Or you didn't if you had a bootloader. The problem is most of the bootloaders, you had to have a programmer to actually put up so that you could have the bootloader on the microcontroller.
9.101.
I think you could have bought some that already had it pre-done, but they were still not cheap. But then we got fun things like the Raspberry Pi, which might be a bit overkill with a full-blown Linux distro on it. I don't think it's actually fully full-blown, but it can be if you want it to be. And at that point, that's not really embedded in, by my definition. And again, I think anybody that says they do embedded scripting languages is also not true embedded programming. And that's me being all elitist.
You just got the white flag. That means 1 more lap.
Oh, wow. Lost track of time there. Which was nice.
9.928.
Funny to say that, but I mean that in the sense that I wasn't thinking about the laps, I was just driving. And not overthinking it. So the question is, are we going to try to bin it here on the last lap? If we don't, I'm going to have to call it quits here, because... Yeah. Yes, I scared the crap out of myself there. Pants, yes, I have 3. Fire suits, I only got the 1, though. Not the most exciting of races.
Alright, there's the checkered flag.
Depending on how you want to talk about that. I knew we could do fairly well if we could not wreck. And our fastest lap wasn't as great as I was hoping it would be. Not terrible, but it was still about 3/4 of a second off from our best lap and a long way off from our optimals. Still, with the way we've been running all week, I'm going to just say that's really good and just kind of be happy with what I did. We've actually gained some iRating and safety rating. We almost had a clean race. We almost put it into the wall when we got that incident too, so I'm going to be happy that we just got that one incident. But it was also nice to actually come from the back and work our way forward. And it seems like this race was really clean, and the only thing that happened was basically a bunch of people trying to dodge someone that was sitting on the middle of the track, on the left side of the straightaway, who then decided to pull forward when there were cars coming to try to get going straight again. So that was fun. Overall, though, I was fairly happy with our consistency there also. I think plus or minus about half a second for most laps. There were a couple of terrible ones that were, well, outside of our starting lap. Our worst lap was a 59.4. So that puts us about 0.7 of a second between our worst to best lap if we don't count our first lap. Not too bad. Definitely take that. I also definitely did not move over as much as I thought I did at the start to try to make sure that Brian had enough room around that guy that didn't start. I was looking at the replay. I went over about an inch and then straightened back out and went back to the left. I thought I went over more than that, but yeah, apparently not. So yeah, Brian, remember what I said about the whole smart thing. Well, with that, so if you like, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you have any questions, suggestions, feedback, or advice, drop it in the box below. Good luck in your races, and y'all take it easy.